Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we all doing today? We are here. It is the morning. The show has started. Today I am talking about Tomi Lahren, Charlemagne the God, and Trevor Noah. And what we're talking about is the conversation that Trevor Noah has created within the social consciousness that is now starting to really come out everywhere. And the overall conversation is based on racism. And this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday for a little bit. And you have to, if you haven't seen these blow ups that have happened. So what's going on here is that Tomi Lahren has this thing called The Blaze. She has these things called Final Thoughts. She's been going crazy posting about all the stuff that's going on in her point of view, which in my opinion is very intense. She says very mean, angry things. And so she then did something about Beyonce, and she got angry about the Black Panthers, and this led to Charlemagne the God and the morning show calling her the Donkey of the Day, which is their thing where they, just like I believe Philip DeFranco has his band for the day, and he has people, and also the opposite. So everybody has that kind of thing on their show where they kind of mention something where they find one person who's like, I can't believe you did that. And so it goes to say that he and her had it out on her show where he was bringing up all these points where he was like, well, you're doing the same thing that you're talking about not doing, and showing how she was a hypocrite in that situation. At which point then TMZ had her on television, and the owner of TMZ explained to her who the Black Panthers were, and still it seemed as though she didn't get it. So then later on, now recently, Trevor Noah has had her on his show on Comedy Central, and on this show, he mentions and says that he puts on Tomi Lahren onto the show, and they have it out, and he catches her in many different things being very hypocritical. But what really comes down to it is that there is this overall conversation that is now kind of being created underneath of what happened and what's going on and where do we really stand and how deep does the racism flow in America. And it's becoming a big conversation now that's happening all over the media based on these three characters. And it, on some weird level, you have Trevor Noah in the middle, you have Tomi Lahren on the other, and you have Charlemagne the God on the other. And not that Charlemagne the God is like some kind of racist African American, which I don't believe he is. But you see like this crazy thing that's kind of been created over this girl, and so you ask yourself, is it so wrong to have all these different forms of media coming out where you kind of get your own informed decision off of many different sources? Now, that's a bad thing on some level, because then you put yourself into this little bubble, and you hear it's your own sounding chamber, as they call it, where you hear the same thing that you're what you're thinking and saying. All you have to do is just go to the internet and find it, and you can immediately find the thing that you want to hear the way you want to hear it. Are you wearing eyeliner? No eyeliner. I just have really nice eyelashes. Anyways, so good morning. So in the end, the question really is, have you heard of this conversation between Tomi Lahren, Charlemagne the God, and Trevor Noah from Comedy Central? See, I believe that Trevor Noah just recently put her out there, and he did it on purpose. And he had this really cool ulterior motive, which is the thing that's happening now, which is it's a conversation, and it becomes something where everybody starts to look at each other and also look at the entirety. And the way that he says it, Trevor Noah says it. He says that racism should be looked at like it's a disease, like alcoholism or like drug addiction. And I truly agree. The only way that the humanity is going to step up in its course to move on and move forward in the world is going to be through that process. So let me go ahead and I'll do the whole thing really quickly. So what today was about was Charlemagne the God, Trevor Noah, and Tomi Lahren. If you don't know who she is, she's been doing a thing called The Blaze. Charlemagne the God is on a radio show, also a DJ, also a rapper, and Trevor Noah is on Comedy Central. Now, Tomi Lahren has been this boisterous white woman who speaks really negatively about a lot of things, and Trevor Noah had her on the show on Comedy Central. And so basically, what did that create? I believe that created a conversation, and that conversation in itself was one about racism, not only in America but around the world, and what it does to us, and how it keeps us in this class system, and how we need to stop being racist, how we need to be using racism as a way of looking at it as something that we need to fix, and something that we need to not just push people away and say, oh, you're racist, okay, but actually make something happen. Make those people go to a class about racism. Maybe make them go to Racism Anonymous, which is a new thing. If you haven't heard about Racism Anonymous, go check it out. They have a 12-step program for people who are racist. There's a bunch of articles over the last year, since 2016, about Racism Anonymous. So the whole thing today was really, what does it really mean? What did this conversation do? And is this conversation resounding with everybody else? And so I want to hear what you guys have to say. Write me in the comments below. Tell me, have you heard of these people? Do you know about this conversation that's happened? Do you know about the Trevor Noah, Tomi Lahren, and the ultimate outer conversation that's happening in the social consciousness about racism and what's happening there? So I'll finish today, because there's people sleeping and I don't want to be too loud. So we'll stop today, but I'll say to you, like I say every day, please do the best you can. Carry somebody's bags, open somebody's door, help somebody today, in whichever way you can. And if you find somebody who's sad and alone, then walk up to them and say, hey, I know it looks like you're sad, and I know it doesn't look good right now, but I want to tell you, I believe in you, and I believe you're going to get through this. And then just walk away, because just leaving that in their mind will make them feel really good. And also, if you can't do that, you don't like people, you want to be by yourself, then that's great, don't worry. Do something nice for yourself today, and go out into the world, never going down, but always going up, because all rising tides rise all ships. Go out to the world feeling great and feeling awesome, because you have something to give to the world. I promise you that. All you have to do is keep doing what you love to do. And with that, my friends, I wish you well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Please like, share, and subscribe. Send to your friends and family. Tell people I said hello. Let's wake up, and let's wake up together, and let's go out there and kick ass and take initials because we don't have time for the names.